Hello, I'm Kathy Beaird, and I am the interim co-director at the Norman Williams Public Library in Woodstock, Vermont. And I'm here to tell you today that go ahead, judge a book by its cover. We all know that first impressions matter, and I want you to know that I do judge a book by its cover, and not being attracted to the cover may not stop me from reading the book, but I begin the book with a slight chip on my shoulder, which brings me to Chip Kidd, who works for Knopf Doubleday Publishing Group as a graphic designer and has designed uh, some of the most award-winning book jackets that I know of. Think of the dinosaur silhouette on Jurassic Park. Before designing a cover, Chip Kidd asks himself a question. He reads the book, and then he says, what does the story look like? So how can I tell the story with graphics? And a book designer is sort of an interpreter and a translator. And I wanted to begin with one of my favorite covers of his. This is a book called My Name is Red by Orphan Pamuk. And what Chip Kidd did with it is he started actually on the spine, which is not exactly what you'd think of first. But so here he has on the spine, and that's going to grab your attention when you're walking down the stacks. And you can see this couple here, and they could be lovers or whatever, you're not sure, but you know that they are together in some fashion. So you bring out the book from the shelf and you start to turn it this way and you think, oh my goodness, look at him. He's spying on these two and he doesn't look like he has very good intentions. What's going on between these three? And then as you pull it out more, you see there's a rider here with an arrow and he is pointing directly at this man who is our spy. What's going on there? So this cover is exceptionally intriguing. A book that, another cover, this isn't one of Chip Kidd's, but I love it, and I love this writer anyway. Her name is Mary Roach, and she is a nonfiction writer, and she writes a lot about subjects that you never knew you really wanted to know anything about. So this particular book is called Stiff, and it's The Curious Lives of the Human Cadaver. So it's about what happens to our bodies when we are no longer with them. So you think, okay, well, how are you gonna make a cover that isn't really, really gross? And they do it. They put 2 feet with the tag on one of the toes, and you know exactly what that is to represent. You don't need any other words. I mean, stiff is a great title, but you don't need any other words. You know that this is a topic that this book is going to explore. This other one is it's a well-known book, so I thought I would pick it. It's a fairly decent cover in my opinion. So Tara Westover wrote this book. It's a memoir called Educated, and it's about the fact that she grew up in a survivalist, fundamentalist family in the hills, mountains of Idaho. And the only way she could get out of that was to be educated. So this cover is telling you that. So the pencil, of course, represents the pencil and the learning and the schooling and the teaching. You can see her, she's standing on the hills that's still on the pencil, but these are the hills of Idaho. She's looking out towards the light, she's looking up to the top. So she's beginning through her education to get out of the land that she lived in. This last one, I have not read this book, but I find the title pretty intriguing, Sin Eater by Megan Campisi. So what you see on here is a pomegranate, which apparently is a fruit that depicts the underworld. So there is, I think, Persephone ate the seeds of the fruit, and she had to go and live with Hades. And you can see that this lovely hand is holding this very ominous looking fruit. I mean, you can see that they've taken a bite out of it, but it looks like a really a, an angry sort of mouth, and the two parts of the edge of it, the stem of it, looks like two angry eyes. So this pomegranate actually looks alive there. So it does make you, of course, the title is pretty amazing, but it does make you think, what is this book? It's very intriguing. And lastly, I just wanted to show you a couple books that I don't care for the covers, and I'll tell you why. So Ishmael Beale is a really fine writer that I adore, but if you look at this cover, it's hard to read. You don't know what these sticks are. That it's little family, and I just don't think that I think he deserves a better cover than that. There was one other one that I just happened to grab. It was on my nightstand, and Sebastian Barry is an extremely good writer. And A Thousand Moons is a good book. I'm reading it now. But if you look at this cover, it once again, it tells you, you know, the author and the title, but it really, it's so big. The letters, the typography is so big that it really doesn't tell you what this stuff in the background is. So once again, I find it confusing. Anyway, I once again just want to say that you can and you should judge a book by its cover.